Hi guys, so I haven't done a video post in a while. Basically, with my online clients, I get them to request videos or little things they'd like me to do, and generally on a Monday, I try to do a Monday motivational video or something to post for them to get the guys going for the week. This week, I asked them to send in their client reports what they'd like me to discuss, and then I realised I haven't really posted anything on YouTube in a while. So I thought I'd just do a big general one that can kind of hit the nail on the head for both and give you guys a bit of an update as well, what I'm up to. Because some of you, I guess, do follow me on YouTube, which I'm really thankful for because I'm sure some of the videos are really boring. So basically the things I'm going to be touching on today is thinking about competing, what comps are coming up for me, what I'm up to in terms of prep, and then just a little bit about motivation and your support networks around you. So basically, I guess the first one, a few clients that, I prep normal people for day-to-day life, not just competitors, which I love. And, whether it be people putting on muscle, people just wanting to get stronger, people working on injuries, all different things. I try not to focus just on competitors because as much as I love competing, it's a very aesthetic based sport, and it's really nice to work with people with other things going on in their life. If you can help them with an eating disorder, or you can help them with an injury issue, or you can just help them just feel a bit more confident in themselves. I love helping people with those day-to-day things. Not to say that I don't love competitors as well, but there's got to be a bit of balance in life, and comp isn't the be all and end all, as great as it is a good thing to tick off your bucket list and do if that's a goal for you. So I guess if you're thinking about competing, I guess there's kind of three questions that I generally ask people when they come to me and ask me to assist them with those services. Number one would be how their relationship is with food. So have they had any eating issues in the past, disordered behaviours, binge eating, just unhealthy relationships with food, to the point where they think about food all the time. A comp is only going to make that, generally speaking, worse. Sometimes it can help people's issues, but I would say don't do a comp for that reason. I would say maybe sort those issues out first and then look at it further down the line and still get the assistance of someone. Work a healthy off season and then come into a show when you and or your coach think that you're also ready, rather than rushing the process. Number two would be probably research your coach. This is probably the most important one, actually. Make sure that you've seen some competitor results before, not in terms of placings, but just their actual overall prep, because you can have two shredded people on the stage and be in great shape but be prepped completely differently. One could have been doing a 16-week prep where they had a high caloric intake the whole time, they had no drastic cuts, they did a bit of cardio, but it wasn't like from day dot. The other one could have done a 6 or 8 week prep where they did 3 hours of cardio a day, ate fish and broccoli for the whole entire time. Now, I know which one I'd rather do. So, a lot of people can get you shredded. It's more how you get there and what happens afterwards that's important. So I'd look at also if they do reverse dieting with their clients, what they do after the show, how they do check-ins, what their sort of update plan is to make sure they're customizing your macronutrient changes as you go along, your training programs are adjusted. You shouldn't be doing the same thing for an entire prep and then also paying someone for that service when they're not changing a single thing as your body changes. Again, it doesn't mean that your training program needs to be changed every day or every week, It's just as you change. That's what customized means. It's adjusted to suit you and your goals and how you're responding. Okay, the next thing about competing is thinking about why you're doing it and your shape and what you're best suited to. So I have a look at the different federations, have a look what's out there. For me personally, I do IFBB bikini. It's because I like the shape of the bikini athletes. I aspire to the pros' physiques in bikini, like Natalia Mello, Justine Monroe, Ashley. They're all some of my favourites, and that's the shape that I like, so that's why I do IFBB. I've also been in the federation a couple of years now, and I really, really enjoy it. The shows are great. We only have to do one bikini round. We don't have to do, costumes and this and that. And yeah, I just really, really enjoy it. I think that the competition's great in that federation. But then it's also important to look at shape. I like IFBB because you need to have some muscle. You need to have legs, you need to have a bum, you need to look like you train. But then you also need to be pretty lean as well, which I like, and that kind of genetically suits me a little bit more. So it's important to look at those factors. Then again, IFBB likes a big booty and a little waist, which I don't have. So there's again things that I've got to work on to suit that mold as well, even though I might get the conditioning or other things that suit it. So definitely research your federations and look at your shape. Sometimes people set unrealistic goals when it comes to comps, and they might look at a girl that's, say, been competing a few years and not realize how much muscle mass she actually has, because when you're lean, you don't look at, sometimes that big. But then off season is different. So make sure that you set realistic goals. So, go to a coach and say, look, give them an image of, someone you ideally like their physique, and say to your coach, is this realistic for in 12 weeks time or in 20 weeks time? And they might come back to you and say, honestly, no, like this will take like 2 years to get to. That's fine, but then they might be able to set you some more realistic targets. So if you're thinking about competing, be realistic with yourself and look at your overall shape rather than just getting lean, because getting lean isn't the be-all and end-all of competing. Just because you might be the most shredded person on stage doesn't mean you're going to win, especially in bikini or sports model, because it's definitely about shape, stage presence, personality, all those other factors that you've got to consider. Something else you've got to think about is cost. Competing's expensive. There's no money in competing, really. It costs you a lot of coin, especially even if you're going in, international shows and everything like that. It's very pricey, and so you have to do it because you love it. I've been to world champs and stuff in the last year, and I'm getting ready for another one again, and it's not cheap, even for me. Even though things may be covered, you're still taking time off work, you're still paying for hair, makeup, tans, all of that sort of stuff. I have an awesome bikini sponsor, Claire Skeet, so check her out, and my sponsors at Muscleworks, but, it doesn't cover everything, and it is pricey, especially if you're going to be hiring a good coach as well. You're going to pay for what you get. So if you hire someone cheap, you're probably going to get a cheap service, and you're going to have to expect that. So definitely put money ahead of time for a comp. That's probably the big ones. I would say also maybe look at your lifestyle, your work, see if it would work in with that. You are going to be, committing to doing something for an extended period of time, and you're going to need to have a good support network around you. Not to say that it has to be a selfish sport, but it is a little bit at the end of the day. You're going to have to make a few sacrifices, and there's no way you can do a prep really without that. In terms of, you still want to be social, but it is a little bit limited, and that's something that you're going to have to understand going in. So I guess in terms of that's another topic that we're going to touch on, like haters and supporters. A lot of the time, even for clients that aren't even competing, clients that come to me with goals and they just want to, get their summer body and all that sort of stuff, and they're starting now, so it's September, it's a great time. They're working hard and they've got macro targets, or they might have a meal plan, a training structure, and then it gets the weekends and their friends are like, oh, don't worry about it, like you've been working hard in the gym all week, like you've been sticking to your food, like let's go out, just have a piece of pizza, just have, some alcohol, coffee, whatever, like don't worry about it. Like, why are you counting your macros? What are you on MyFitnessPal for? Like, just being really, really negative instead of just leaving them alone to do their own thing. And this is quite frustrating. And I know that a lot of clients get frustrated by it and ask me how I deal with it. I guess the biggest thing for me is that I only really surround myself with supportive people. You have a lot of those negative, toxic people in your life, and you kind of just learn to either explain it to them once, and if they don't get it the first time, just let it go. You got to also understand that people might not understand your situation, so you need to be a little bit like, take it easy with them when they ask you questions the first time. Explain to them what you're doing and just say, look, these are just my goals for summer, just really want to smash out the next couple of months, and this is just what I'm doing, and let's see how I go. And if they're a good friend, they'll be like, that's great, like that's a really good goal for you. And be supportive and just let you do your thing. If there's someone that's, negative about it, then you don't really need that around you. I find a lot of the time it's jealousy, or it's, they don't have their own self-control to stick to some goals and be committed. That's usually it. I find a lot of the time I've had friends in the past that have been super negative about it and been like, oh, your life's so boring. Oh, like, all you do is train and think about food and this and that, and and I've kind of got rid of them out of my life. And then I found now, 6 months or a year, even 2 years down the track, I'm getting emails from these people. I'm getting Facebook messages from them. I'm getting texts. They want to catch up for coffee. And then when I go meet up with them, all they want to do is talk to me about their personal diets and their training and their weight struggle on my weekend, free of time because I'm their friend. And it's like, come on, you dissed me a couple of years ago for my choices in life. And I appreciate the fact that now they value what you do, but you can see why they were doing what they were doing back then. They didn't understand it for a start, didn't have their own self-control, and were maybe a little bit jealous about the results you're achieving. So I guess the big thing when people aren't being supportive is just try to stay humble in what you're doing, and rather than having you go at them and their choices, just take a step back and just be like, that's cool, that's your opinion. This is what I'm doing, so you can either support it or just leave it. It's not really worth talking about because it's something that I'm going to keep doing, whether you like it or not, sort of thing. And you'll find that the people that really care about you will understand, and they won't make a big deal out of it. Honestly, no one wants to talk about food and training 24/7, even me, and I love it. So that's something really important to remember. And people also think, well, you're a trainer, so all you do is hang around with people that train and do fitness. I don't actually. A lot of my friends and family aren't into health and fitness like I am. My brother doesn't train at all. He doesn't eat healthy. He works in hospitality. One of my best friends is a lawyer. She enjoys training, but she also likes going out drinking. And, I don't care. That's what she wants to do on the weekends, and I want to go, catch up for a coffee with her. Then that is something that we can both do together. So I guess the thing is, find things that you have common ground with people. If they don't like going to the gym and, but you don't want to go out on a Saturday night and go have a dinner because you've got a comp coming up, then why not, make a, comparison in the middle and say, well, hey, let's go for a coffee or let's go for a walk, something else that interests you both, shopping, anything like that is a great thing to do. And yeah, I think your family as well around you is going to be a good support network for whatever you're doing, and make sure that your family understands what you're doing too. Mine took a while to get it when I first wanted to compete, but they really understand it now and understand that this is a choice that I want to do. As you can see, my mother has come over and she's been helping me set up my new business, which is Macro Snacks. We're actually in the HQ at the moment because I just got a big delivery of bags, as you can see, to fill some more online orders. And I didn't write that on the board. She did, of course. She's embarrassing, but I love her because she's supportive, and she always thinks that I often do too much, but at the end of the day, she supports my goals and what I believe in, and I support hers. And she's not a big gym goer, but if she knows I've got to train and I've got a comp coming up and she wants to catch up with me and I go, Mum, I've got to do, half an hour of cardio, she'll come jump in with me. She'll walk on the treadmill next to me, she doesn't care. It's just spending time together. And, she might not agree with some of the things that I have to do sometimes, but, she still supports it at the end of the day. She might not like seeing her little girl get up in a bikini and shake her ass around on the stage, but she knows why I'm doing it and the reasons behind it, and she's proud of me. So yeah, I guess that's a big one on haters and supporters. You just don't have time for haters. You don't have time for people saying negative stuff to you. If you don't judge them for their choices, why do they feel the need that they get to judge you? It's just not fair. So there's no point even investing time in it. Cool. So off that topic, onto a few clients have asked me about my prep. I mean, again, I'm not a big one to really talk about it and what I'm doing, and rather focus on my clients. But yeah, I'm going to the World IFBB All-Female Cup in Canada, Montreal, which is now in 7 weeks, which is getting a little bit scary. Chose my bikini the other day, so I've got a sneak peek of my colours here. So we've got the Perth show first, and then that's in 5 weeks, the IFBB Amara Classic, which is the state titles, then fly out to Montreal the week after that. So I've got 2 colours, one for Perth show, they're both greens, and then one for over East. But yeah, we're going to get those blinged up. Thank you to Claire, she is awesome. Get around it if you need a bikini for a show. There you go. Yeah, so I guess in terms of prep, I've been reverse starting out not for a long period of time, probably about 3 months until I started really prepping. I've only really cut my calories down now. I wanted to maintain as much lean mass and keep my carbs up as much as I could for as long as I could after the All Females in Sydney, which I won that show and then qualified me onto Canada. So yeah, with prep at the moment, I'm just doing what I can, fitting it in where I can with the new business and lots of stuff going on. Trying to keep my cardio down to maintain as much mass. When I went to Worlds last year in Ukraine, I came seventh, which I was really happy with on a world stage. And that was my first world event, and but I lost a fair bit of muscle mass, and I was pretty small on stage. I only weighed like 52 kilos. I was really lean, but I lost a bit of shape in my lower body from probably doing a little bit too much cardio. So this time I'm hoping to be on stage at around probably 54 kilos, maybe 53 at Worlds, 54 for Perth. I'm not really too stressed on the scales, but just coming a little bit fuller, still like lean through my midsection, a bit fuller in the legs and glutes, which I did in Sydney, but I definitely want to drop a bit more body fat than Sydney. Yeah, I mean, the judges were happy, they said, with my conditioning, but I would like to be a touch leaner. I always want to be a little bit leaner. So it's just finding that fine line between Sydney and Ukraine last year. Yeah, in terms of prep, I lift 6 days a week. I struggle to have a day off. I'm having a day off today purely because I'm busy at work. But yes, I do force myself to have a rest day. Mondays now because it's a busy day at work. I like lifting on the weekends because I've got more time. My split is 3 days of lower body, 3 days of upper body. 2 days are really heavy, and then the other 2 days of each are volume. I split the legs into like hammy and glute focus, and I do a quad and glute focus, and then just all over heavy legs. And I switch my heavy compound movement from either a heavy sumo squat or heavy dead per week. Don't generally do the two on the same day in a heavy sense because it'll be like a 6 to 8 set session trying to work up to a max. Same with upper body, pretty similar, mainly focusing on the delts, medial, bring out that cap, and then a fair bit of bis and lats. I don't do a massive amount of arms. I've just started doing a little bit of core work. Again, I only really do a little bit at the end of HIIT or before. That's pretty much it. Cardio wise, I'm doing 2 HIIT sessions a week. I'll probably ramp that up a little bit more to 3 now that we're 5 weeks out from Perth. And a couple of lift sessions, but just quite short and easy, just a few walks here and there. Calorie wise, I just dropped down this week, but I kept it pretty high. I got up to like over 2,300 with some refeeds in my reverse diet process. So my calories are probably the highest I've ever dieted on, and I'm hoping to keep it that way if my body responds well. And again, it's just trial and error and seeing how that goes. So Lane's helped me massively in the past, but I actually coached myself for my last show, and I've been doing my own prep for this show and my off season, my reverse diet, and yeah, it's been going great. And now I've just started working with one of my good friends, Adam Cook. He's in Sydney and runs Physique Aspiration, and yeah, just working together a bit. I mean, it's just nice to chat to someone about it and have feedback when you're doing your own prep, even as your own coach. You're going to question things, and I'm always probably harsher on myself than what I am on everyone else. So it's nice to have someone just be like, no, chill out, like you're all good. You don't need to add in anything else. You don't need to drop your calories lower. And so yeah, I just send him through where I'm at, how I'm going, how I'm feeling. We adjust a few things in my training program. We kind of went over that last week, and he gave me some ideas. I gave him, some feedback on what I currently do, and yeah, we're working up from there. It's just nice to have some input. So yeah, that's it. So full steam ahead to Canada. Then exciting news after the Canada show, which will be October the 17th. I'm going to go to New York for a few days, which would be great. I figure while I'm over there, why not? Down to Miami, a couple of days to train, then to LA, and then I'm meeting up with my good friends Summer, Bernard, and Nina Silic, who are competing back on the bikini stage in their pro show. So pro debut in bikini for Summer, and Nina hasn't competed in a while, and I both had a few health issues and, some really pretty full-on stuff going on this prep. So I can't wait to see them smash it, do a completely different prep. They're going to look insane. And that's going to be in Sacramento. So that will be, I think, the 3rd of November. And then I'm going to fly back. And the girls are going to go on and do Ohio. And unfortunately, I can't stay. I'm going to come back for work at the Body Consultants because we've got the gym opening. Yeah, so it's all happening, but I'm lucky that I'll get to hang out with the girls and the MuscleX team in America. So we're going to have to do some videos and update you, training, anything you want, let us know. But yeah, I really want to, I'll try to doco a bit more stuff. I didn't do much in Ukraine, so I really definitely want to do more in America. It was hard over there. We didn't have any internet, gyms, anything. So yeah, I'll try to be more on top of it. And that's it. So there's a little update for you. And yeah, so at the moment, I've got the new business, Macro Snacks, which is doing, so this is the new cake mix. We've got our bowl mix, so all the macros are on the back, what to do. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be an awesome business, and it's just a product that I've wanted for ages. I've always wanted something that has macros on it, that's tasty, that's easy, that fits in with my prep, that's convenient, and I thought that was a service I could bring to my clients, and you know, and then it became very popular. So I've launched it all. It's online now. Check it out on my Instagram. Is Instagram at Macro Snacks with a Z at the end. Macro Snacks at shopify.shopify.com. And yeah, so locally run WA business, and check it out. So I will try to keep you a bit more updated and in the loop. Otherwise, email Alice at thebodyconsultants.com. Or macrosnacks@gmail.com, which isn't run 100% by me. So if you want a personal email, shoot it through to Alice. Otherwise, business inquiries through Macro Snacks. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. Keep training hard.